Here's week 1. So during week 1 you are learning how to solve linear equation and also quadratic equation, and your discussion forum for week 1 you asked you to solve the equations, and this could be a linear equation or this could be a quadratic equation, which is a second degree polynomial. Now I have some example for you here, extra example, and this could be used to help you to before you post your answer on the discussion forum, or this could be used as a tool to review for your midterm and your final exam. So let's go over a few problems in this video. Okay, so first problem. So again, this is all asking you to solve the equation. So I have the equation of 3x minus 5 multiplied by x minus 1, and that is equal to 49. Now you are trying to solve for the equation. That means we are looking for the value of x. When you have the value of x, when you plug in here and you do the calculation here, you should end up with 49, which makes the equation to be true on both sides. Now you want to solve for x, so you want to eliminate x on one side and the rest of the number to the other side. I have 5 multiplied to the parentheses here, so let's first do the distribution of 5 to the inside here. So minus 5 times x, that gives me minus 5. Minus 5 times minus 1, that gives me plus 5. And then I have 3x here equal to 49. Now combine the like term, 3x minus 5x, that gives me minus 2x plus 5 equal 49. You want to move 5 to the right hand side, so I go ahead and subtract 5 on both sides. I have minus 2x equal 44. Now I want to solve for x, so I want to get rid of minus 2 by dividing minus 2 to both sides of the equation. Remember, if you do something to one side of the equation, make sure you have to do the same thing to the other side of the equation. So that take away the minus 2, so x equal to minus 22. And in fact, if you plug in minus 22 back to here, and you should end up with 49 on the left side, which is equal to 49 to the right hand side. So that is the first problem. Let's go over another example on this week 1. Again, it's also asked you to solve for the equation. So this is the equation, x minus 5. Now we are trying to solve for x. So again, the rule is to eliminate x to one side, the rest to the other side. But here we have 3 multiplied to something and then a multiplied to something. The first rule is make sure you do the distribution to 3 to the inside here, and then do the same thing to 8. So 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 3x is 9x equal 8 times x is 8x, and 8 times minus 5 minus 40. Now let's move x to one side and the number to the other side. I go ahead and minus 8x on both sides. So this is gone. 9x minus 8x give me 1x. I keep the 3 here equal to minus 40. Now I'm ready to solve for x. I want to move 3 to the right hand side, so I minus 3, that take away the 3. I have x equal minus 43. That is my answer. Alright, let's go over the another example of problem number 3. X multiplied by 6x minus 4 equal to 6x plus 7, and then x minus 3. Again, you want to have the polynomial on the left and the right hand side, so you can combine the like term and eliminate x on one side and the number to the other side. Therefore, the first thing is you must multiply everything together. 6x and x give me 6x squared. x times 4, that's minus 4x. Now this one will FOIL, so 6x times x, 6x squared, 6x times minus 3, that's minus 18x. 7 times x is 7x, and then 7 times minus 3, that is minus 21. Now it's time for the combining the like term. I have 6x squared and I have 6x squared here. They are the same on both sides, so go ahead and subtract all of them. So I subtract minus 6x squared on the left and the right hand side, so this term is gone, this term is gone. So now we don't have the quadratic equation because they cancel on both sides. Now let's combine the like term. Minus 18x plus 7x, that is minus 11x, and then minus 21 here, and we have minus 4x on the left side. Now you want to solve for x, so let's combine the like term of x. I add 11x to the right and the left side, so I take away 11x on the right hand side. 11 minus 4, that gives me 7x equal minus 21. And now you want to solve for x by dividing both sides by 7. So you have x, because 7 and 7 cancel. Minus 21 divided by 7, that gives me minus 3. So minus 3 is my answer. If you plug in minus 3 to x here, you should end up the left hand side and the right hand side to be equal. Okay, let's try another problem. Problem 4. X squared plus 2x equal 15. Okay, this time is the quadratic equation, or the second degree polynomial. In order to solve for the second degree or quadratic equation, we can either use factoring, quadratic formula, or completing the square. But before doing anything, we have to rewrite this equation in the form of the quadratic equation. So the quadratic equation has the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So the first thing is I have to move everything to the left side, so minus 15, right? I have 0 here. Now my left hand side, x squared plus 2x plus minus 15 equals 0. Now this is the standard form for the quadratic equation, and we can use maybe the quadratic formula, completing the square, or factoring. But in this case, factoring may be easier. So let's try the factoring. Okay, so this is the second degree x, so I have x here and x here. Now my goal is to try to find two numbers. Okay, that's when I multiply, I get minus 15, and when I add them, I get plus 2. So we are looking for two numbers. That's when you multiply all the product, you want to be minus 15, and when you are trying to sum them, you want to have the sum to be 2. So what are the two numbers? Well, we can think of, because there's the product is minus 15, so at least one of the number must be a negative number. So I can think of maybe 5 and 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. So let's say if we have minus 3 and 5, so 5 multiplied by minus 3, that gives me minus 15, and 5 add to minus 3, that gives me positive 2. So these are the two numbers that we need in here. So I go ahead and plug in 5, this is plus 5, and the other one is minus 3. So this is how we factor the quadratic equation in two factors. And now when two factors multiply to get 0, that tells you that either one of them is 0. So we set each of them equal to 0. either this one equal to 0 or the other one equal to 0. And then we go ahead and we solve for two equations here. So minus 5 on both sides to solve for x. So I have x to be minus 5, or add 3 on both sides. Or the second case, I have x to be 3. So we have two answers in this case. The reason we have two answers because this is a quadratic equation that's second degree, so we should have two answers. Alright, so let's move on to another type of problem in this chapter, this module. Problem 5. 5x over x plus 20, and that equal to minus 3. Now, we are given a fraction equal to minus 3, and we are trying to solve for x. So the best way is to have to cancel the fraction. So we end up with a normal equation that we used to solve. So the only way to do that is by multiply the left and the right hand side by x plus 20. Alright, you want to multiply by the bottom on both sides. Because if you multiply that, you take away the left hand side, and it's end up with 5x. And the right hand side, 3 minus 3, do the distribution here and here. Minus 3 times x is minus 3x. Minus 3 times 20 is minus 60. Yes. Now we move x to one side, so I add 3x here and 3x here. That take away the 3x on the right hand side. 5x plus 3x is 8x equal minus 60. Okay, now you are trying to solve for x by dividing both sides by 8. Okay, so take away the 8. So x equal to minus 60 over 8. Right, 60 over 8. Yes. Yeah, 3 times 20 is 60. Now, we can simplify this further because we always want to have the simplified answer for x. So maybe go ahead and divide by 4 and on top and the bottom. 60 divided by 4, that's give me minus 15. Right? Minus 60 divided by 4 is minus 15. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. So the final answer is minus 15 over 2 is for x, or also equal to minus 7 over 7.5. But you can leave the answer in fraction. So this is another way to solve the equation. If you are having a fractional part on one side, you can just multiply that factor on both sides to make the bottom go away. Right, let's try. We have two more examples in this week. So let's go over example 6. I have x minus 9 multiplied by 2x plus 3 equals 0. Now again, this is the zero factor property. That means two things multiply each other equal to 0. That tells me that either one of them must be equal to 0, right? Because you need one of them to be 0 in order for the whole thing being multiplied to get us to 0. Oh, sorry, this is x minus 9, so it should be x minus 9 to be 0. Now you can solve for x for two cases. So I add 9 to both sides. I have the first case, x equal 9. And this one you want to solve for x, so you may want to subtract 3 on both sides. Minus 3, minus 3. So 2x equal minus 3. And then solve for x by dividing by 2 on both sides. So x equal to minus 3/2. So there's two answers, x equal 9 and x equal minus 3/2 for this equation. Remember, if two things a times b equal to 0, this tells you that either one of them must be equal to 0, or a equals 0, or b must be 0, and then solve for x for each of the case, for each case that you have here. Okay, let's try the very last problem I have for you for this week. X squared minus 2x minus 1 equal to 0. Now, this is again a quadratic equation, and we can solve this by factoring, completing the square, or quadratic formula. We use the factoring techniques in the last few problems. So probably let's try the quadratic formula in this case. Okay, how about let's try the factoring first. If you want to factor this one, that's tell you that we have x here and x here, we get x and x, it will be x squared. Now we are trying to look for two numbers. When you multiply, you get minus 1. When you add, you get minus 2. Yes, and it seems to me that I cannot find an integer that's when I multiply I get minus 1, or when I add I get minus 2. So it seems like it's hard to factor in this case. So maybe it is not a good choice. How about let's try the quadratic formula again. If you are using the quadratic formula, it's guaranteed to give you the answers all the time. The quadratic formula always give you out the solution, but it's take maybe a little bit more time if you know how to factor that quickly. But again, factoring is not always working for all the problem. Sometimes you cannot just factor them using this type of technique, but quadratic formula is always giving you the answer. Now let's review what is the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula has two different answers: x equal minus b plus or minus two cases, square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. A, B, C are the coefficients in front of the equation of the standard form. A x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So we are already in the standard form. In this case, a is the one in front of x squared, or in this case is a just 1. B is minus 2, right? The coefficient in front of x, and c is the constant, which is minus 1. Now I have a, b, and c. I go ahead and plug in the formula I have here. So minus b minus of minus 2 plus or minus b squared, which is minus 2 squared, minus 4, a is 1, c is minus 1, and then over 2a, 2 times 1. Now minus 2, that's going to be plus 2, plus or minus. Minus 2 squared is 4. 4 times 1 times minus 1 is minus 4. Minus 4 with the minus in front, that's become plus 4. Plus 4 here is 8. Divide by 2 times 1 is 2. So let's simplify square root of 8. You can rewrite this as 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Square root of 4 equals 2. So you can take away that 4 to the outside. So let's rewrite that here. I have 2 plus or minus 2 radical 2 over 2. Now we have 2 here. You can factor out 2, or you can pull out a 2 on the top. 1 plus or minus square root of 2 divided by 2. Now 2 and 2 we can cancel them. So I end up with 1 plus or minus square root of 2. This tells me that I have two answers for this equation, two solutions. One is 1 plus square root of 2, and the other one is 1 minus square root of 2. And 1 plus square root of 2 is around 2.41, and 1 minus square root of 2 is around minus 0.41. And if you plug in these two values here to the equation given here, then it should equal to 0. And in fact, the solution in this case is containing the decimal numbers. Therefore, it is not applicable to do the factoring, because usually if you factor the equation, then you have the answer as an integer or a nice looking answer. This one is a decimal point. Therefore, we cannot apply the factoring techniques, but we have to use the quadratic formula. Alright, so this is all the problem examples that I have for you during week 1, and you can watch this video and then start working on the skill discussion forum. Again, you only have to pick one problem and solve for that, and then post your reply to the discussion forum. You can type your answer directly on the web page, or you can write your handwriting your answer on paper and then scan your paper or take a picture of that and then upload to the reply for the forum. Either way is fine for me, as long as you have the answer. So yes, that is all I have for you here, and I hope my video will help you to prepare you for the skill discussion forum. Now, even though you only answer one question from the list that we have on the main discussion forum, but I recommend you to do all the problem on your own, or take a look at the solution from your classmates when they post the answer, because you want to be able to solve all the problem, because this is a good way to review for your final and your midterm. Alright, so this is a video for the skill discussion forum for the critical thinking exercise. That one is not requiring you to have a correct answer, but it's require you to input some critical thinking into the prompt. So just follow the direction I have there on the website.